is Flow News at noon on Flow 94.9 FM. The Flow, of course, on state. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. My name is Chimdindu Chambers. The headlines. Presidential Policy Dialogue proposes 10 strategic initiatives. Leah Sharibu feared dead. INEC tenders final exhibits to Abia Governorship Election Petition Tribunal. And on the foreign scene, scores of migrants feared drowned in Libya shipwreck. Details in a moment. The Presidential Policy Dialogue meeting has ended with 10 strategic initiative proposal for adoption by President Muhammadu Buhari's administration in the next 4 years. The meeting proposed to tackle the problems in the power sector, stimulate significant investment and industrialization of the agricultural sector, as well as aggressively improve the ease of doing business. Another strategic initiative was to launch the Consumer Credit Scheme in the banking sector, which will grant citizens an access to long-term and affordable mortgages. President Buhari, in his closing address, assured that the proposals would be discussed and finalized with the incoming ministers who are being screened by the Senate. One of the 8 workers kidnapped by Boko Haram terrorists on July 18, Grace Taku, is claiming that Leah Sharibu, alongside one Alice, has been killed by the insurgents because of the federal government of Nigeria's inability to do something. Taku made the claim in a new video released by the insurgents yesterday.
Do something to see that we are released, because this has occurred before in this organization, Red Cross, where some ladies were called Hawa and Zipporah. They also asked to be released, but because Nigeria did not do anything about it, they were killed. I am begging on behalf of all of us here that please, Nigeria should not allow such to happen to us. And it also happened again with Leah and Alice, because Nigeria could not do anything about them. They were not released, they were also killed. I beg that Nigerian and our organization, Action Against Hunger, should please do something and see that we are released.
She further appealed for federal government's intervention to facilitate their release.
Actually, we don't know where we are, but this moment I want to beg on my CAN, Christian Association of Nigeria, because I'm the only Christian among the 6 of us here. I want to beg that CAN Association should please do something about me to see how I can be released. I also want to beg on Action Against Hunger, Borno State. We are 6 here. All of us are staffs. We went to work. Now we're coming back to our base. That was where we were caught.
Leah Sharibu was among the 110 Dapchi schoolgirls kidnapped from Yobe State by the insurgents, but was not released by the terrorists after the federal government negotiated the freedom of others due to her Christian faith. Meanwhile, the presidency has acknowledged the viral video showing a female aid worker and 5 male colleagues kidnapped by insurgents in Nigeria's northeast region. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garuba Shehu, said the victims' abductors were being engaged. In a series of tweets, Shehu said the presidency was aware of the video, while they assured that the captors were being talked to. Some leaders of the Yoruba Socio-Cultural Organization Afenifere are accusing the federal government of failing to curb mass killings in the country, especially in the southwest. They also ordered Fulani bandit vigilantes out of the southwest to avoid confrontation with the Yoruba people. Chief Ayo Adebanjo, who spoke on behalf of other Afenifere leaders also warned the National Assembly against amending the Land Use Act to remove the power of land allocation from state governors towards forceful implementation of the suspended Ruga program.
Will no longer be used to water the tree of a dysfunctional unitary order. We demand immediate timeline for a return to a federalist Nigeria so that we can have autonomy to run our internal affairs, and failure to do so will constrain our capacity to continue to restrain our people.
Some concerned elders of the South under the aegis of Nigeria Elders Forum have added their voice to the rising insecurity and other challenges facing the nation. Eminent personalities like Christopher Kolade, Professor Anya O. Anya, and Shingo Nwigwe warned against any provocation that would lead to civil strife.
With the wisdom of reprogramming, we will, if need be, contend inch for inch, person for person, and language by language to rescue our nation from this present darkness.
Let us focus on those things that we know we have in common.
We have proposed an answer in Yiba. This is the unified cultural platform that every Southerner can claim as his own or her own. It would allow us to share many things that are of common interest to us, and so without firing a single gunshot.
Former President Goodluck Jonathan believes the form of politics being practiced in Nigeria breeds criminality. Speaking at the African Security Conference in Port Harcourt, Goodluck pointed out some factors that fuel insecurity and distrust in Nigeria.
A brand of politics in Nigeria today is the politics that's breeding criminality. So I believe to cure this as a nation, we must make sure we change the way we conduct our elections. We should follow the developed world and bring IT into our electoral processes. There's no reason we should still vote in a place where people will go and snort ballot boxes or scatter papers that we saw in the last election.
The senator representing Ekiti Central, Opeyemi Bamidele, has explained the reason some of the minister nominees being screened by the Senate are asked to bow and go. He said that the Assembly already has knowledgeable information concerning the legislatures, adding that no minister nominee has been confirmed yet, as proper scrutiny will still be done on the documents presented to the House.
Members of public need to be told that they need to understand that former senators, former House of Reps members, former State House of former legislators are subjected, Mr. Chairman, this is important, Mr. Chairman, they need to know that former legislators who served in the National Assembly are subjected to the same level of screening.
The national president of the National Union of Local Government Employees, Ibrahim Khalil, is accusing state government of devising another means of taking money from the local government's account, despite the financial guidelines issued by the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit to them not to tamper with local government's funds again. In an interview, Khalil accused the state governments across the country of forcing local governments to pay levies to them from the fund apportioned to the council from the federal account. Khalil said local governments were being asked to contribute to the running of some projects in state, which ordinarily were responsibilities of state governments. Edo State Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Anselm Ojezua, is of the opinion that the National Assembly does not have any reason to intervene in the crisis rocking the State House of Assembly. Ojezua said the intervention of the National Assembly in the State Parliament was an impediment to the peaceful resolution of the crisis. The party chairman said since the matter had been taken to the court, the National Assembly ought to have waited for it to be determined there. Senator Benjamin Owajimogu has been sworn in as senator representing Imo North Senatorial District. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, had on Thursday issued certificate of return to Owajimogu of the All Progressives Congress, APC, as the winner of the Imo North Senatorial District election. The Independent National Electoral Commission has tendered its final exhibits to the Abia Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sitting in UMUAHIA. The tendered exhibits by Counsel for INEC Emeka Eze included forms EC8A and EC8B, which he said contained the polling and ward unit results of the 17 local government areas of Abia State. Eze, after tendering the documents, he asked for an adjournment to enable the Commission to seek for its remaining witnesses. The case continues today. Speaker of the Abia State House of Assembly, Chimdindu, has commended Abia indigenes and the diaspora for their continued support to the state government and their positive contributions to the development of the state in particular and the nation in general. The Speaker stated this in a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Jude Ndukwe, on the occasion of the National Diaspora Day. Oji hailed the federal government for declaring July 25 as National Diaspora Day, adding that the total remittances to the country by Nigerians in diaspora stood at a whopping $25 billion, representing 6.1% of the nation's gross domestic product and a huge 83% of the federal budget of 2018. Flow News at noon continues shortly with business, foreign and sports news. Stay with us. I'm glad to know that you're still there. Now away to business news. About 38.5 million bank accounts have been linked to the bank verification number. According to the latest figure obtained from the Nigerian Interbank Settlement Scheme, the banks witnessed 1.7 million new BVN registrations in the past 5 months. And away from the shores of Nigeria, at least 115 people are missing and feared drowned after a boat carrying migrants sank off the coast of Libya. Navy official General Ayub Kasim said 134 people were rescued and a body recovered. And finally, in sports, the final matches of the 2019 Men and Women's ITO Cup will take place at the Ahmadu Bello Stadium, Kaduna, on Sunday. In the women's final, cup holders Rivers Angels of Port Harcourt will clash with Nasarawa Amazons of Lafia in a match that kicks off at 2 p.m. To end the news, a recap of our major stories. The Presidential Policy Dialogue meeting has ended with 10 strategic initiative proposals for adoption by President Muhammadu Buhari's administration in the next 4 years. One of the aid workers kidnapped by Boko Haram terrorists on July 18, Grace Taku, is claiming that Leah Sharibu, alongside one Alice, has been killed by the insurgents because of the federal government of Nigeria's inability to do something. The Independent National Electoral Commission has tendered its final exhibits to the Abia Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sitting in UMUAHIA. And on the foreign scene, at least 115 people are missing and feared drowned after a boat carrying migrants sank off the coast of Libya. Thanks for being with us. Remember that security is everyone's business. Provide useful information to security agencies to ensure your security. To join us at 6:45 a.m., noon and 6 p.m. every weekday for additional newscast. This is Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. You can send your views or information to flowfmnews@gmail.com or visit www.flownews.com.ng for more stories. This bulletin was edited by Samson Eze. I am Chimdindu Chambers. Have yourself a lovely day.